and welcome back to Studio 21. I'm your host, Audrey.
And I'm Zane. Today we'll be discussing some Wonka-based drama, as well as reviewing the Academy Award Best Picture nominees.
In addition, I'm excited to announce that a local San Antonio band, Sloth, will be joining us as a guest today. So please stay tuned to hear more from them and more in today's episode. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this week's Gossip Guru. I'm Audrey.
And I'm Zane. Today we'll be talking about the Willy Wonka experience, which has been sparking anger online and in the real world.
Anger is a strong word. I would say the atmosphere online is more amused annoyance, but the people who bought tickets to the experience were truly aggravated. For context, the Willy Wonka experience was an event held in Glasgow, Scotland. It was advertised as the event of a lifetime with many different sections themed around Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Tickets cost $44 per person, and many took their whole families. This was not a cheap event for them.
When people arrived to the event, it was more akin to a middle school science fair than an unforgettable family event.
Well, it was unforgettable in a sense.
The people who went vented their anger online, which led to more people looking into the experience. As more people looked at the event's website, some of them realized that the art and writing there was done by AI. The website itself is very low quality, having only one page and different color palettes between the AI artwork. For people unfamiliar with what AI art looks like, it would be hard for them to realize that there is a problem, though.
Yeah, I feel pretty involved in art communities, and the first time I came across the more high-quality AI art, I didn't really realize the issues that were in it. People spent over $100 to go to the event, and yet they were only given a single jelly bean per kid and a tiny cup of lemonade.
A single jelly bean is almost petty. I think I would rather have nothing at all at that point.
Honestly, yeah, it's insulting. Even the actors got scammed because they didn't get paid, yet had to deal with all of the angry parents. The company running the event, House of Illuminati, posted to their Instagram story that they were sorry and everyone would be fully refunded. This was, of course, later deleted.
Wild. Some have reported the company to the Scotland government, hoping they face some kind of repercussions. This all happened recently, so it'll be a while before we hear more about it. That's all for today's episode of Gossip Guru. I'm Zane.
And I'm Audrey. Thanks for tuning in. Now, please enjoy this week's music video of the week.
Don't wanna fight no more. I'll agree to disagree. Just come and dance. most bad, so that's all that I want. Round and round, shut it down. Don't wanna fight no more. I'll agree to disagree. Just come and dance with me. Solo tú, only you. Palabras de amor. Dímelas si te vamos a bailar. I'll agree to disagree. Just come and dance with me. With me. Vamos a bailar. With me. Just come and with me. Vamos a bailar. With me. Just come and
Okay, welcome back, and today we are joined in the studio by the local San Antonio band, Sloth. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to pursue music, and did you always know that this is what you wanted to do as a career?
Honestly, I think like we just kind of figured out. I think honestly we just kind of figured out that we wanted to do it like together, because we all like kind of started playing music separately, but then we just came together and we're like, oh yeah, we're really good together, and the music is really cool, so we're just combine our forces together.
Expanding on that a little bit, me and Gylum have known each other since middle school, like 6th grade-ish, and we had always played music with each other and tried to start like bands with other people, but they never really ended up working out. So it took us a while to like find people who were like kind of with what we wanted to do musically, and we've found these two incredible people.
Yeah, pretty much just what they said. I think for me, me and Jaden both also have parents that are both involved in music, so that was definitely passed on to us from a young age. But that's pretty much what kind of pushed me to start learning, and then eventually I just took it from there and kind of decided that music was something I wanted to do. So yeah, I think pretty much we all just kind of found it at an early age, and then kind of met at the end of high school and went from there. So yeah.
Awesome. How would you describe your sound or genre of music, and what made you gravitate to producing that sound?
I would say that you could consider us what's called math rock. Normally you can just kind of like place us underneath alternative rock and just whatever subgenre underneath that, but math rock is kind of the technical name if you want to get that deep into it. But really we just kind of wanted to combine like an older emo kind of sound with more technical instrument parts and things like that. So at least that's what I wanted to say.
Now you talk.
I don't necessarily consider us falling really under like any genre, if you ask me. I don't necessarily like see a whole meaning to like a bunch of the labels that are kind of out there, but at the same time, we do kind of cater to a certain like sound that we've all kind of like grown up listening to.
Yeah, for sure.
Long story short, we're nerds.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the meaning behind the songs that you'll be singing for us today?
So you first,
Okay.
'cause your song's first.
Okay, so we're gonna sing a song. Well, I'm gonna sing a song called "Toasty." It's about kind of breaking through the patterns of like bad habits and bad cycles, and realizing that there's people that like want to do you harm, and that not everyone is like good for you, but persevering and being able to stand on your own feet and be like a positive influence on not just yourself but other people as well.
Yeah, the song that I'm singing is really new. It was an instrumental for the longest time, and I wrote it about kind of like, I guess you could say I wrote it about gender dysphoria and like not feeling comfortable in your own skin and feeling like you have to conform to a certain thing, and like you're being forced to present a certain way, and the struggle and the duality of trying to express yourself while having limitations due to like, you know, your physical form or whatever, and pushing through that to really get your true self across to the world.
I would say any of the songs that I'm going to be singing today just kind of touch on similar topics, really just about like people and life in general. And I know that's a very like broad topic, but I guess more specifically just like trying to do better and break those bad habits, as Axel was saying earlier. But yeah.
Awesome. And lastly, do you have any upcoming performances or news that you'd like to share?
I know that soon we'll be doing a show affiliated with South by Southwest over in Austin. We're going to be playing at the Ballroom at around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then we have a couple more shows after that in March. So, yeah, we're going to be posting about that. And we're also working on a new record as well. So we have about 6 songs that we plan on releasing this year. And I think that's mostly what we have planned.
We also got a bunch of t-shirts coming out too. We got like 3 designs or something. It's going to be cool or freaking cool. I don't know if I could say it. But yeah, we just got like a lot of merch and we got music coming out.
Follow Sloth Band SA if you want to keep updated with all of our shenanigans.
Big things coming soon, guys.
Awesome. Well, we cannot wait to see you perform. But first, we'll take a look at local San Antonio brunch restaurant featuring many different cuisine types and a patio perfect for hanging out in the sun.
Hey everyone, it's Kate here today with local finds at Box Street Social. Box Street Social is one of the liveliest brunch spots in San Antonio, offering brunch all day, signature cocktails and mocktails, a curated espresso bar, delicious food, and beautiful views on their dog and cyclist-friendly patio. Box Street Social loves to host events and is known for their aesthetic decor. And today I am here along with owner and chef Ed to ask some questions. Welcome.
That's me. Hey, y'all welcome. Thank you for coming.
Of course. So I find it inspiring that Box Street Social started out as a food truck. What was the journey to get where you are today?
It's that typical thing, like all that blood, sweat, and tears things or whatever. You know, starting off in the food truck and your typical like bars and breweries type thing, but then we transitioned into a catering.
Oh, okay.
Where we did like weddings and corporate events.
Was it always this like kind of upscale vibe or?
At first, not really, you know, so we didn't, when we would park at breweries and
Yeah.
at bars, I would be like, man, people need tables. So you know
Yeah.
what I did? I got ironing tables.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that vibe-ish at first,
Yeah.
but it made sense for what we needed
Yeah.
at the moment,
And where
at
were
the
you?
time.
You
know what I mean?
were located. Would you say a lot of the inspiration behind the menus from like just things that you've kind of?
It's literally
created?
what I feel like eating.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
What I feel like eating, some of the inspiration is kind of like from food truck parks. You know, when you get that crowd, like, what do you feel like eating? What do you feel like eating? What do you feel like eating? Man, you can
Everybody's
have
different, yeah.
a burger at 9 a.m. with an old fashioned, or
Yeah.
you can have, especially like at our La Conchera location,
Yeah.
or you can have like the breakfast plate or fish or like French toast at like 9 p.m.
Awesome.
Right?
And then another like specific item, one of your coffees has the name Cupid's Cup. Tell me
Yeah.
more. What's that about?
I mean, she's pink, so
Okay.
that kind of made sense, and that was
Yeah.
kind of. It was one of our specials last year, I believe, and
Okay.
it was so popular
You just kept
that
it.
we just kept it on there, and
Yeah.
that's kind of
Fan
where-
favorite.
yeah. It's
Great.
easy on the eyes, you know.
And then, so I always ask this question, and the answer is always, I can't choose. But at the moment right now,
yeah.
what is your favorite on the menu? What would you, like, what are you in the mood for?
If it's all right, so I have a few answers, but it
Okay.
depends, right? So
Go for it.
if I see a burrito, I like want a burrito.
Okay.
I don't know why, but if it's like a little bit later or lunch-ish or whatever, then I definitely want a Moroccan chicken naan.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
that sounds amazing.
But
love
if I
good
want
naan.
like sweet, I definitely want like the French toast.
Okay.
So,
So there
I-
you
I
go.
don't know.
You can do
It's just
something
gonna
different
be-
every time. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what do you like most about your job?
All the employees,
Okay.
they're like fun. There's,
Yeah.
It's you know, when we were a food truck and a catering company, there was like 5 of us. It was, you know, and we're sitting around this our desk.
Yeah.
Not much bigger than this, and we were like, yo, like we're about to hire a lot of people. How is this gonna be? And then when we hired and this, that, or the other, and then especially now having the second location, that was scary as well. But yo, that's like my favorite part. They're just
That's great.
I don't want to say characters in the sense that sounds kind of negative, but
Yeah.
like we
No,
are
I love
all
characters.
you know what I mean?
Great. And do
Yeah.
you hop back and forth from the two locations?
I do.
Or?
I
Okay.
do. You know, but the staff is great. They take
Yeah.
care of it. I sometimes get in the way,
Yeah.
and I know that they want to try to kick me out
Yeah.
of like the location that I'm at because they're
Yeah.
really nice to me. Like, hey, don't you have friends you want to hang out with? Like, oh, didn't you talk about this thing that you wanted to
Yes.
be at, or this, that, or the other? And I'm just like, why are you being so nice to me? You want me
Yeah.
to leave, right? But I'm just kind of in the way. So
Yeah, I get
I found
it.
my spot where I get to open the doors. I clean like the door windows,
Yeah.
and just that's where I kind of like
Yeah.
find my little
Entryway
my little
or-
area.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Totally.
yeah.
And then last question. I mean, you've already like expanded so much from the food truck to restaurants. What's the future? Are you like where you're at now, or do you see more?
No, we definitely want to keep moving till I can't
Yeah.
move no more. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I absolutely love this industry. I love just, I don't know, it was my first job. I've done other things in between, whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes me feel, the way this makes me feel for like our guests to come in and have a good time and make them feel a certain way.
Definitely.
I want that to just become like that brand. Like, we don't want to go to brunch, we want to go to Box Street.
Yeah.
So want to just continue to build that and give the people the experience that I love so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Ed.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yep.
Totally.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Release Date. I'm Zane Clow.
And I'm Audrey Post.
Today, we'll be doing a little lightning round of all the Academy Award Best Picture nominees. I've seen them all, and we'll be talking about them in order from my least favorite first to my favorite last. First up, and in last place, Maestro.
Maestro is a film written, and produced, directed by and starring Bradley Cooper, as well as Carey Mulligan, and is a biopic on the life of American conductor Leonard Bernstein.
While this film is not completely terrible, it's actually very well shot for the first, except for the first fourth, and Carey Mulligan's performance is sincerely incredible. The film is overall extremely overacted, overdirected, and worst of all, pointless. This might be the first movie I've seen that doesn't say anything. The most I got was that people are complicated, which is such a non-observation, it's barely worth considering. Next up, probably my most controversial movie opinion ever, Barbie.
Barbie, directed by Grete Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, follows the adventures of Barbie from Barbie Land to the real world.
I feel like this is one of those opinions that I really have to do a lot of work to justify, so here goes. There are good parts to this movie. The production design, music, acting, it's all great. However, and I hate saying this because it's really reductive, that can all be achieved with enough money. This movie lacks a soul. I find it to be an egregious example of the soulless corporate product it's criticizing. It's bland, panders to a set of social ideologies without actually committing to them in any meaningful way, and it's just bad writing. I wish I could get into the specifics, but the social prescriptions the film advocates for run counter to what I think the intended message is. At best, this film advocates for social stagnation and regression at worst, with its puddle-deep social analysis. It's not the worst movie I've seen, but I absolutely hate it, and it's a disgrace to the medium. On that cheerful note, next up we have American Fiction.
American Fiction is a dramedy directed by Cord Jefferson and starring Jeffrey Wright, Erica Alexander, and Sterling K. Brown. The film follows Thelonious Monk, an author and English professor who, sick of novels exploiting the Black experience, writes a satirical novel under a pseudonym that gets taken way too seriously.
I don't really have much to say about this film. It's good. The movie has an abundance of funny and dramatic scenes that all work relatively effectively, although maybe not super well together, and great performances. My biggest gripe is that the pacing is really weird and goes from breakneck speed to slow, somber moments, but that's not a huge deal. Overall, a pretty solid movie, just not what I think of as a Best Picture nominee. Next up, The Holdovers.
The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne and starring Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sessa, and Divine Joy Randolph, follows a young man at a prep school who gets stuck with his cranky older professor for Christmas when his parents don't pick him up for winter break.
This is the first movie of the nominees so far that makes sense to be nominated. The film being shot and edited in such a way as to evoke a 70s film is fun and effective, as well as having great performances and genuinely funny and heartfelt moments. There's nothing really to complain about here, it's just a really great, solid movie. Next up, Past Lives.
Past Lives, directed by Celine Song and starring great Lee Teo-yu and John Magaro, follows Nora and Hae-sung, two childhood friends from South Korea who reconnected online as adults, began to develop feelings for each other, and then grow apart. Hae-sung goes to visit Nora in the U.S. only to find she is married and complicated feelings arise.
This film is probably the most quiet and understated of the nominees, and I really like it for that. Most Best Picture nominees make me think of big movies with huge stars giving loud and strong performances, but this movie takes its time, lets itself get quiet, and trusts the audience to make meaning from what they're seeing. And for a movie as quiet and mellow as it has a pretty heart-wrenching ending that stuck with me. This is just a really great romance film. Next up, Poor Things.
Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos and starring Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and William Dafoe, follows Bella Baxter, a woman sort of like Frankenstein's monster who slowly develops increasingly complex cognitive function as she discovers the world and herself.
This movie visually is just stunning. The jarring, uncomfortable fisheye lenses, a genius shift from black and white to color, astonishing production design, this movie has it all. The soundtrack also beginning discordant but increasing in complexity and clarity of composition to parallel Bella's progression is also incredible. Like most of the films before this and all of them after, the performances are great, and it has an actually well-conveyed female empowerment message like Barbie wishes it had. Next up, Anatomy of a Fall.
Anatomy of a Fall, directed by Justine Triet and starring Sandra Hüller and Swan Arland, follows Sandra Voiter, an author who, after her husband dies falling from their balcony, is suspected of killing him and must defend herself, not only in the eyes of the law, but also her visually impaired son who found his body.
This is an incredibly tense crime and court thriller. I was on the edge of my seat for pretty much the whole film. The writing is just incredible, with Better Call Saul levels of compelling legal writing, as well as gripping personal arguments. I know I sound like a broken record, but the performances, especially Sandra Hüller, are incredible, and the ending is just amazing. I don't want to give away much more, but this is a great contender. Next up, The Zone of Interest.
The Zone of Interest, directed by Jonathan Glazer and starring Christian Friedel and Sandra Hüller once more, follows Rudolf Haas, the commandant of the Auschwitz concentration camp during the Holocaust, and his family as they live on an estate attached to the camp.
Kicking off the top three is one of the most haunting movies I've ever seen. This minimalist depiction of the Holocaust was significantly more effective than I thought going into it. Part of the whole premise of the film is you never see anything beyond the walls of the camp. The peripheral sights, smells, and sounds bleed into the lives of Haas and his family without showing the horror directly. This film is a genius, slow burn analysis of the Holocaust with a bold and daring framing device that left me equally sickened and stunned. It's simply incredible. This is the first nominee that I believe is actually deserving of the win. Next up, Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan and starring Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., and Emily Blunt, follows the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the man who built the atomic bomb, from his days in university to the Manhattan Project to the HUAC investigations.
Taking the number 2 spot in the film I think is actually going to win the award, Oppenheimer is a marvel. Though the film is grand in scope and doesn't shy away from that, it's still a very subdued and subtle with its performances. The understated performances, which are incredible, elevate the scale of the movie to me. The film is long, and I don't think it wastes a second of its runtime. The pacing is tight, precise, and extremely smooth. The sound design is incredible, the mixing isn't, but it's a Nolan movie, so I expected as much, but it's shot beautifully, edited with incredible precision and intention, and has a powerful anti-nuclear message that I feared the film would cower in the face of, but takes on boldly and unambiguously. Unlike Barbie. Next up, my favorite of the nominees, ironically the one I have the least to say about, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon, directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, and Robert De Niro, follows Ernest Bucketheart and his uncle William Hale as they create a plot to marry into and kill Osage Native American families to acquire the rights to their rich oil land.
So as some of you may remember, I talked about this movie a lot more in depth last semester. Given that fact, as well as me probably not being able to do any justice to the movie in this brevity, go watch that episode instead. Just to prattle off a few quick things, performances are great, shots are gorgeous, music is great, editing is great, and the framing device is staggering and genius. That barely scratches the surface of why it's such a profoundly incredible film, but it's my favorite of this year's 10. Oppenheimer's gonna win though. That's all we have for release date. I'm Zane.
And I'm Audrey. Thanks for watching. Now please enjoy this live performance starring Sloth.
so much, guys. We are a local band from San Antonio, Texas. We are Sloth. That was Babel. We just released that as a single last year back in October, and we are going to be releasing more of these songs later this year.
And everything that he said was a lie. Don't believe him. He's lying to you.
This next one we're gonna do is a song called Toasty.
Janitor for right now. If you like us, stick around. Follow us at Sloth Band SA. And yeah, I still don't know if the song is actually going to be called Prog Janitor, but like, it's what we've been calling it.
Working title is Tetsuo, so if that's what it is on the album, then that's what we chose.
You heard it here first, folks. Bye.